June 1981. Pregnancy, birth, and developmental history were normal. Amanda has no allergies, and no unusual cognitive problems were noted in early childhood. Since the age of 12, I've struggled with my mental health. I remember asking my mom one day years ago if hearing things in my head was normal, and her response still sticks with me. "You're too young to know what real mental health problems are." Whenever I tried to reach out and ask to see someone for help, she always gave an excuse to dismiss what was going on, like I needed more sleep or I needed to stay off that phone. It was years before I was actually diagnosed with anxiety. I wake up, puddle of sweat. I have nightmares when I get back into bed. It's like these voices just keep playing on repeat, and I can't get them to leave me alone. According to Oxford Dictionary, generalized anxiety disorder is defined as a disorder characterized by excessive or constant worry about two or more aspects of life. Nearly 7 million adults in the U.S. suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, and yet only 43% of the 7 million are receiving treatment. Although this illness may be treatable, it is uncurable. I myself suffer from this disorder. Through the prose, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green and Little Panic by Amanda Stern, the poetry Feel Something by B. Miller and Dear Anxiety by Clayton Jennings, several stories from TonyChange.org, the articles Tips to Manage Anxiety and Stress and Understanding the Effects of Anxiety Disorders, a program entitled Anxiety, a fear sentence. Because fear of the unknown can stop your life in its tracks and make the ability to move forward actually possible. Amanda was referred for a language and learning evaluation because of her low scores on the ERB intelligence test done on February 24th, 1981. Amanda performed particularly poorly on the subtest of verbal reasoning, and there was concern about language processing problems. Sometimes I don't want to do something with people because I don't want to leave the house due to feeling too anxious. It is easy for me to be hard on myself for not being able to accomplish what I think I should be, especially the small tasks. Amanda is also reportedly terrified of tests in general. These demons keep pressing me, and I swear they're the worst, but I've grown comfortable with their presence. My conscience is callous, my dreams are their playground, my thoughts are their palace. Other behavioral difficulties include a notable problem separating from her mother and a general fearfulness. Ever since I was little, I've pressed my right thumbnail into the finger pad of my middle finger. And so now there's this weird callus over my fingerprint. After so many years of doing this, I can open up a crack in the skin really easily. And I did this because I just wanted to feel something real. I wanted to feel like a person. I was 10 the first time I had a panic attack. It was like a punch to the stomach, and I didn't tell anyone because I was too scared about what they'd say, and I know deep down that there was nothing they could do to take it away. I started calling in sick to school more often because I didn't feel well enough to go in. Not because I had a stomach bug or anything, but because my anxiety was really bad. I attribute Amanda's poor performance on testing to performance anxiety linked to her fear of failure and difficulty extracting meaning from silent reading material. Back then, all emotions felt like play. Like I was experimenting with feeling rather than stuck with it. True terror isn't being scared. It's not having a choice in the matter. I mean, Considering that not even my own mother would believe me, I truly felt alone in that no one would listen to me and brush me off as a liar or even a fake. You're being dramatic. Just calm down. It made it hard for me to reach out for help and take care of myself in the ways I needed. I felt embarrassed to tell people the truth, and I would always tell myself that it wasn't anxiety. I was in denial. Anxiety disorders are serious medical conditions, just as real and serious as physical disorders such as heart disease or diabetes. I mean, forgive me if I fantasize about being gone today. I'm an actor who got really good at being on today. But when I turn off, I go right back into the shadows. I'm in the deep end now, but I started in the shallows, and I might just drown myself in these waves. I found myself canceling plans with friends and family. I would accept an invite, and then a couple days before, I would cancel and make something up. Sometimes I wondered how my family tolerated me, how anyone did. My conclusion is that Amanda has convinced herself that she is not smart. Her efforts are spent avoiding situations where she might be challenged and exposed for who she believes herself to be. Amanda's anxiety is so extreme, no test will adequately assess her true ability, aptitude, or level of achievement. I've spent my whole life trying to run away from that feeling of being lonely, that feeling of being lost, that feeling of being sick when the lights turn off. I don't want to die, but I don't want to live like this. And there would be moments where I just couldn't breathe. See, the thing about a spiral is if you follow it inward, it never actually ends. It just keeps tightening infinitely. That feeling of being anxious, that feeling of screaming to God, begging him to take this. And I couldn't breathe. I just couldn't breathe. I can't 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 breathe. Recommendations are to see a child psychologist to treat the anxiety. I need help. Take deep breaths. Inhale and exhale slowly. Count to 10 slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm moving forward out of the slump. I took my bruises, I took my lumps, I fell down, but I got right back up. It's taken me years to realize that I need help and that no one but me can choose whether or not what I am dealing with is real. That people will reach out to help me if I ask for the help I dearly need. That I won't be told I'm too young, or it's because I'm on my phone too much or too tired. You're doing your best. You cannot control everything. Look at you now. Now you're not laughing at me. Now who's the one who's being tortured and poked? Now who's the one who's closing every door that I want? Now who's the one watching the other burn to the ground? I think it is worthwhile remembering that, yes, for me, anxiety can make mundane tasks difficult. Don't look away from me. You better turn back around. I'm watching your moves and I'm stalking you too. And when you try to ruin some other kid's life, I'll be stopping you too. Mental illness can be incredibly isolating and lonely. But remember that there's always someone who cares about you. Someone who will care if you aren't there anymore. You took 16 years of my life and I can't get that back. You told me to end my life and I nearly got killed for that. You took me down, but I bounced right back. There are days that are worse than others, but you will get better.